Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today. And today we're going to be talking about the 13F filings today. And I want to look at Guy Spier, I want to look at Monish Pabrai, I want to look at Prem Watsa, um, I want to look at Seth Klarman and see what these guys are doing and what they're seeing in the market. So we know these 13F filings are very important. They tell us what these super investors are doing, what they're buying, and kind of what they're looking at. And seeing if we look at this to see if we can find investment opportunities. It's very important because we can kind of invert the situation, see what they're buying, seeing if we can find value in these buys, see if they went lower, higher, or where they are, and we might be able to get in if we understand that company. So these 13F filings can be very important. And the main thing about it is they did the work. These super investors, if they are doing what we want, like they're under our philosophy, under the value investing philosophy, and that's how we invest, they more than likely, these guys took the time, did their research, and they found strong value in these companies. So let's look at like a few of these people did. So let's first go to Guy Spier. And Guy Spier had a huge fourth quarter. He added 66% to his portfolio of Micron. So he still finds Micron undervalued. And it's selling around like $83, I think, right now. Yeah, let's go, let's see. $88. So he probably bought it at around 75, maybe like whatever, 75, 70, and he still, so basically he's seeing it as an undervalued play or at least reasonable value, and he still sees a long runway because when Guy Spirit invests, he's investing for the long term. So just seeing that is just showing you that these value investors, these people who have millions, billions of dollars, are still finding value in the market today. And we know that we keep saying that everything is over expensive, everything is just going booming, and these guys are still investing. So they're not holding back their money yet. They're investing in these companies that they still think that has a long runway. They're not overvalued yet. So that's very interesting right now because it's 8% of his whole total portfolio. So that's a good percentage amount. And that's a strong conviction. So he has really strong belief in Micron. And even when the price went up, because he probably bought it around 30, 40, and his price going up, it doesn't matter. He still bought. So that just shows you he still finds value. And he sold all of his Fiat Chrysler. So he sold 100% of his Fiat Chrysler shares. So that's kind of good news too because that's him seeing and kind of looking forward, like where is Fiat or where is this company going like into the future, because when you think about it, like there's so much EV competition and car competition, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and interest rates are lower right now, so people are more inclined to buy cars. But what happens when those interest rates go up, and we know they're going to go up? Are people going to be as excited? Guy Spirit talks a lot about just actually sitting down, investing in companies that can kind of go up. They just stay positive even during any economic time. So cars are very dependent on the economics. And in the future, if interest rates go up, people are not going to buy as many cars. So he probably sees that as like a bad investment right now because interest rates are low right now, but when they go up, these companies that have a lot of like investment in these properties, plants, and equipment, and they had to pay a lot of debt, and people are not going to borrow as much money. It's going to affect these kind of car companies. So he sees that he just sold it off and got rid of it. So that's very interesting on Guy Spears' part, which is interesting, but it's like you understand his play, or I'm trying to understand his thinking. We got Monish Pabrai. He didn't make any investments. I think he made an investment overseas in some like I think real estate company in Turkey. So he's seeing more value overseas, which is good if you're able to find value over there. But I suggest we stick to places that have like kind of we understand very well, because it's gonna be hard to invest in countries overseas where there's a lot of rules, regulations, and we don't know too much about that. So we saw Guy Spier, we saw Moshe Pabrai. Let's go to Seth Klarman. So Seth Klarman is a very well-known investor, and he follows these value principles. So let's see what he's doing. So he added eBay. I think a lot of people are saying eBay's undervalued, especially in this market, and everyone's staying at home. and stuff is going up. Like people are buying more online, and eBay is like people are trying to sell their stuff because they're trying to make money. They're trying to find ways to get more money during these times. So a lot of people are going to eBay. So eBay actually has a huge potential to grow, even though their company has kind of been up and down. I don't know if it's a long term play, but he sees value in that. Intel, I think this was a huge buy. Intel, he bought it around $49, and I think this is huge because people are people are just so down on Intel, and that's when you want to buy, when people hate the company, when there's problems with the company, because Intel was still generating $20 billion in revenue. It had growth in revenue this year, and people still saying, "Oh, Intel is falling off. It's not going to do good." So these are the companies when you see undervalued companies that are generating so much money, good return on equity, good return on invested capital, but people are down on them. That's when you want to buy. And I bought around, I think, $44. And remember, this company has so much like tailwinds. Like the tailwinds for this company is incredible. The government just came out saying that they want to actually help businesses, like kind of help these semiconductor businesses stay in America and make them successful here, because we know a lot of people are shipping away the products to like other manufacturers in Taiwan and places like that. So Intel has a huge potential to grow. They have so much revenue. They have so much earnings. The stock is gonna. I think the stock is gonna go crazy, and I bought it at 44, and I knew it was undervalued because even if Intel never generated a dollar, like never generated a dollar, it just stayed where it was at, it would be worth at least $60, and it was selling at $44 like back in 2020. It was selling for $44, and if it never generated any money and it just stayed consistently at its earnings, the company was worth $60 when I did my evaluation, and that's assuming there's zero growth. So that just shows you that I felt like Intel has huge potential. And now let's see where Intel is at right now. Intel's at $61 after hours, 62. So it's only at 12 PE compared to companies like what, Micron. Micron's at 33. We have what, Nvidia, 97. Like Intel has a huge way to go. It's all people's mindset and how they're thinking about the company. Everyone thinks down on Intel right now. They're not gonna grow. They're all this, but it's the most dominant company right now, and it's gonna be that way. There's too many tailwinds, has too much money, is investing too much in research to just go fail right now. Too much history. So that was my thinking when I invested in Intel. What else we're seeing? We're saying he's still invested in Facebook, 63% in Facebook. So these guys are still finding value in the market, which is very interesting because people are saying all these stocks are too high. Everything's gonna like you can't find value. So these super investors are actually finding value in these companies, and they're not selling as much. They're still looking at these companies and finding like strong like value in them, and that's very important to see because that kind of gives us some like insight in the way they're thinking, and they're not worried too much about the market crashing. But even though I'm worried about the market crashing, that's why we have some slack. It's important to have slack. Charlie Munger has said over and over again that we make money waiting, and we make the money when you have that extra cash on the side, and then there's a huge opportunity that comes. So the huge opportunity, we don't know when it's going to come, but I still think it's going to come. So I still have that slack in case hell breaks loose in the market. So these are very interesting. You can see that people are still finding value in the market, and that's kind of good news, and that kind of keeps us thinking about the future and telling us, okay, keep working, keep finding these stocks that are undervalued, because they're still finding stocks that are undervalued, or they think they have still potential to grow into the future. They might not be undervalued, they might be fair valued, but they still have a lot of potential to grow, even if they're selling at a 30 PE or 20 PE. So that's good news for us, and good news for investors to like keep working, keep trying to find these stocks that are undervalued, because there's still potential out there. So guys, if you like this video, can you please like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace.